Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us at Hard Talk, coming to you every Monday, 8 p.m. from Kuala Lumpur. With me tonight, we have Wesley. Wesley and I have known each other for a few years. So Wesley, tell me something about yourself in terms of your career, family, and of course, your hobbies.
Okay. I think first and foremost, KH, thanks for having me and the team at Hard Knocks as well for arranging this session. Right. My name is Wesley. I'm 45 years young. Right, this year. Right. I am a father of two. Right, two very beautiful kids. Right, they are already in their teenage years. Right? Marsha is 16, Micah is 14. Right, loving relationship with my wife. Right. We live together with my mom and dad, right? Very healthy mom and dad, right?
In-laws, yeah. But
yeah. And I think the part of the Asian culture, right? And I still get to live with them, right? It's the 3rd generation in the home, right? And I'm very proud of that.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, that's something which we don't see that often today.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And apart from family, at work, right, I am a head of department for a IT services company. Right, I work for a public listed Singapore-based company. We deliver services, IT services, right, for most of the telecom service provider like Maxis, Celcom, and DG. Right, so in my department right now, I compose about mainly 50 over people. Right, mostly all Malaysians. Right, and we deal with Malaysian business. Right. So outside of family and work, right, personal hobby, interest, right, I'm very much actively in motorsports, right. In 2023, right, this year itself, I started racing motorcycles, right. So there was a joke, right, and we were talking about it. I'm racing with boys and girls, right, half my age today, right, and knee-to-knee racing, it's a real big eye opener for me.
Yeah, I was under the impression you were racing motorbikes before this, but it's only this year.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Only this year.
Well, that would be a big challenge, big step.
Yeah. And I'm actually very grateful as well and to have the support, right, from the family, right. Even though it takes up a lot of financial support, right, and I'm blessed, very blessed with health and wealth, right, to be able to do this sport, right, and for Malaysia as well, right? Why do I say that, right? Motorsports in Malaysia, as we all know, all motorsports are spectator-led, right?
Yes.
It's a spectator-led sport game, right? And the scene in Malaysia, right? The motorsports scene in Malaysia, they do not capture the right audience, right? People only go for the big leagues like, Formula One, club races like us, people don't really see that much. Interesting.
Yeah, it's I don't suppose there's any lack of excitement in the game. It doesn't have to be the big league. Any meet will be very exciting.
Yeah.
Just people don't know it.
Correct. Right. I mean, most of the people watch motorsports are literally watching out for the crash. We still crash as often. I crashed, right? So yeah, and there are always elements of excitement. Right? I think it's about how we can support, right, the local Malaysia motorsport scene, right, to bring us to a more international level.
Right. Okay, so that keeps you busy weekends sometimes.
Super busy.
Well, thank you, Wesley, for that introduction. Tonight I'm going to ask Wesley to share with us his experience of the Advanced Living series. It's a program we have at Hard Knocks, and we have, I think, hundreds, if not thousands, who have graduated this training in the previous company and now under Hard Knocks. And Wesley is one of them. And so, Wesley, the Advanced Living series is a very interesting program. I think it's interesting for anyone who has gone through it.
Exactly.
And perhaps you can share with us how, what has this program affected you in terms of all those areas you mentioned, your family, your work, and perhaps even in your sports?
Yeah. I think it goes back to the history back when I started this back in 2018, right? And I felt great, right? And also grateful, right, to get to experience that pre-pandemic, right? Because right, during the pandemic, right, a lot of things shifted, right? And I did ask myself, what if I did not go through the Advanced Living series and pandemic comes, right? How would I be? I did talk about that, right? But let's leave that aside first, right? I think I went through the Advanced Living series and started back in 2018, right? Early 2018, right? And how I term my life would be, right, a black and white TV, right? During those days, we were watching TV, we enjoy watching TV, but it's only in black and white, right? There's nothing wrong with that. My life is working, right? My relationship with my wife, my family, everything was working. Work was good, right? And I get to also do the hobbies that I enjoy, right? The kicker comes after, right? And after completing it, right, I started to see more colors, right, in my life. It's just like, yeah, we still have not gone into the areas of Netflix, but the television, the movies that we watch, started to fill with colors, right? The point to that was also I started being creative, right, in my ways of being, right? So what does that mean was that I started to look at things and perspective of every aspects of my life differently. So for example, right, I mean, I did share some of these things with my kids, right? I'm right-handed, so every morning I will brush my teeth with my right hand, right? How would it be if I were to brush it with my left hand?
Okay.
Right? So it's like, I'm trying different variations in every aspects of my life, right? And I get to see, right, there are more possibilities in the areas of whatever that I'm doing, right? And the best things, right? Who benefits it most are not myself, are the people surrounding me, right? Okay. Which is very close to me, my family, my friends, right? Very close work colleagues, right? They started to see something very different or unique, right? And yeah, that allows me, right, to create very different results, right? Because people only want to look at results, right? Yeah. And during the Advanced Living series, right? I mean, I'm glad that the team had this program, right? I'm an engineer by work, right? I'm an IT engineer, so everything is all based out in a very logical way, right? The 100-day program was a proof of concept.
Oh, okay. That's a nice way that's a good way of putting it. That is a proof of concept of something new, I suppose.
Exactly, right? I mean, you look at it, right? In our ways of life, right? How often do we get the opportunity to do a proof of concept?
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I want to be a millionaire, but how do you have a proof of concept to be a billionaire? Right. So that's where I started by having that platform, right? I was grateful that I was able to practice different ways of being, right? And there were certain distinctions, right, that was shared, right, part of the program, right, that allows me to evaluate, right, what is my way of being if I'm going to be like that, right? If I'm going to be a very proud, righteous, and very stuck-up person, right? What's the result, right? And if I'm going to be a loving, passionate, and responsible being, right? What's the result, right? So that 100-day program allows me to experiment with a lot of variations, right? That's why I said proof of concept. Very
So that means you were experimenting with what you were not usually, and what you were maybe what you wanted to be.
It's more like what I wanted to be, and I was afraid to try it, right? And because like I said, right, before this, I was just going through life in just a certain motion, right? Nothing exciting, right? It's just get work done, go back family, right?
And I think you did it fairly well anyway.
Yeah, it's working, right? And if I do not disrupt it, right? Yeah, life still goes on, right? No change.
Yeah. So what was new then?
Wow, right? For example, right? I started learning to look at things, to enjoy the every small things in life, right? For example, right? I love to drive to work. Convenient, right?
Yes.
Right. And when I changed jobs, right, I started taking MRT to work every day, despite even a longer journey. Right. But I get the experience to be, what the infrastructure that our government have put in, right? So we have MRT stations. You get to interact with people, right? And the best thing is, right, in the train station, right, I get to rest my mind, right? I get to do things, right? Read, do other things more productive rather than just getting stuck in a traffic jam.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. And traffic jams in KL, right? I was working in the heart of KL, right? It was very, very bad. Very, very bad. Right. And and I get to spend time, right, with my kids as well, right? Yeah, right. The small things, I started to see how I was communicating, right, with my kids, right? My family especially, right? And it turns out beautiful, very, very beautiful, right? And today, to the extent that my son, right, will come and tell me, yeah, Daddy, I'm very proud of you, what you do, right? Yeah, someday, right? Yeah, I would like to be like someone like you. I was like taken quite aback, right? Yeah, mom and dad, right? They are very grateful, right? The whole family packs in together, right? And not only my family, right, but my wife's family as well, right? We do a lot of activities together, right? The feedback that I've got, right, that I've observed from outside, right, people are just saying, yeah, very happy family. I mean, that's what all family wants, right? It's not just appearing up in Instagram or social media, taking nice photo, right? But we enjoy the time together outside of the social media.
Are you saying that your experience in Advanced Living Series was instrumental?
Very instrumental. Very instrumental. It allows me to see, I'm not saying that I'm no longer the stuck up, right, proud, righteous person, right?
Of course you are.
Yeah, we can never remove that, right? It's our automatic behavior. Yeah. But it allows me to see my automatic behavior, right? And I get to choose, right? What do I want to be, right? And what kind of results that I want to create, right?
And personally, as as that successful person that you have always been, how did it change anything for you?
I believe it changed a lot of things, how I connect, how I used to think logically from my head, right? Everything have to make sense, everything have to be calculated, right? It allows me to connect with my heart, right? And that was also one of the things that I find it very difficult to express myself, right? Emotionally, right? I was so into my head, everything, sometimes when my wife tells me something or my children tells me something, it's always here. It's never here. It's never in the heart, right? Now, the Advanced Living Series also allows me to connect deeply, emotionally, right? To allow me to express how I feel, right? Without feeling shame, without feeling guilt, right? Why I say that is, if let's say I stand to be a loving and responsible son, husband, father, and friend, right? It doesn't matter how would they see me, right? Whether if I'm shameful, whether if I feel guilt, right? I should be, let them see who I am, right? And and they are able to support me to the best that they can, right? And we just move forward, right? Move forward together.
And you couldn't have done this because before this you couldn't have done it because
I was so much into it, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of men, I identify with you on that one.
Correct.
A lot of men are like figure it out, and well, isn't that what it is all?
Yeah.
And then that is our version of doing our best.
Correct. I think it's mostly because of I was being in that part of that Asian upbringing as well, right? I mean, Asian as in Malaysia, middle income Chinese upbringing, right? Whereby, we coming from is always not enough time, not enough money, right? Parents always tell us, go out, be the best of yourself, work hard, get a lot of money. Even though you get a lot of money, right? To the parents, it's still not enough money as well. Right?
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah.
Don't take things for granted.
Don't take things for granted. Yeah. Don't get.
And then as a result of that,
wow. the children, right, I get to build a very colorful, right, and meaningful relationship with my family, right, my mom and dad, right, my wife and my children, right, and as it turns out, right, the way that they live, right, the way that we live right now, right, it's not so much like how a parent would tell the children, right? But we are growing up with them because time evolves, right? And I felt that, if I didn't go through this advanced living series, right, it would always just be my way. It's always be my way, right? And going through this, right, I'm grateful that I get to grow along, right, with my children, as well as, right, the current trendings, right? Things change. Things change a lot.
And what have some people who have been watching you all this time been saying to you? I mean, positive and negative. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think the how I got to, the results that I've created was also mainly fueled by a lot of naysayers, right? They say that, Wes, you cannot do this, cannot do that, even in certain aspects of my life, right? But that allows me to try to break through, get that results that I want, right? And at the end of the day, right, I get to see, right, who are the people that is really my friends, right? Families as well, those people that supported me throughout my entire journey at work, my family, right, and my personal hobby, right? It brings a lot of distinction of being very colorful in my areas of life, right? And most of them, they will acknowledge that, Wes, the things that you have done have created a lot of results, right? Yeah, I would like to be there, right? But what matters to me most was also the things that my son says. Right? He says, hey, Dad, I enjoy spending the time with you, right? The area of motorsports that you are taking me. This today, he just shared with me and said that, thanks for bringing me, to the track to experience motorsports, right? Because at least now I know, right, when I get to drive out there, right, I would not be a menace on the road, right? I will do it responsibly, right? In my heart, I was like, oh my God, that's very good. yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I mean, he realized that by himself. Yeah.
Okay. So where do you go from here? This was like, as you say, that was the proof of concept.
Yes.
And then, since then, and where from now?
Now, ever since 2018 pandemic, and I've been trying different. I've been always putting effort in creating different ways of being, right? Different ways of being in the sense that how I would appear as I think the guideline stays no change, right? My aim is always to be a loving and responsible son, husband, father, and friend, right? The being, right, allows me, right, to go through and to see, right? These are the clear distinctions that what I would want to be, right? Because time change. For example, right? Health of a person, let's say my mom. My mom is already 70 over years old. She's 71 this year, right? As she grows older, right, there is a possibility that she may not be able to hear very well, right? And being a loving son, right, and responsible son, right, I need to learn, right? I need to be to tolerate that, right? To adjust to that, right? Responsible son, a husband as well to my wife, right? Yeah, people change jobs, time changes, right? So yeah, I'm always in a very creation mode now, right? I would say, right, at the base of my being, right? And I get to see that distinction very clearly for myself as well, right? And what are the results that I want to create for myself.
So what are the possible options that are kind of horizon for you?
Wow, plenty, right? Even at work right now, I no longer just look at straight cut how much that I will make, right? I will now it's about giving out, right? I am now working in this organization, right? Creating platform for people to be successful, right? And my children as well, right? I'm doing my very best to support their growth, right? And we can enjoy motorsports together. We can have fun together, right? It's all about learning together with them, right? Even for myself, right? I do wish and also putting a lot of time and effort, right, in my racing in motorcycles. Right, I know it's dangerous, right? So yeah, it's all about fitness and mental strength, right? Yeah. If people can do it, I am still 45 years young, right, and I'll still continue to do it. Yeah.
Mm. And you mentioned possible alternate career at some point in your life.
Oh yes, right. Yeah, I was toying with the idea on going through CFE coaching, right? Yeah. All this while, I mean, for the past 20 over years, I've been working for people, right? And is there something very cloudy on my head right now? I was just toying with the idea, right? The current job that I have, it could be my last task. I was just toying with it, right? I was just thinking, what's next, right? So I've seen, right, some of the business coach, right, ontological coach, performance coach, right, and how their ways of being, right. It's quite interesting, right. It could be something that I will embark in the near future, right, to be a ontological coach, right, and I can do it at my own time, you know. As I'm 50 plus already, you know, I will want to have a more laid back time, you know, at work, right? I may not want to be attached to an organization, right?
Okay, so that's you're creating an alternative.
Yeah, yeah, that's something which I'm looking at. So I can have, by then, right, both my kids, they'll be finishing school, right? They'll be coming up to work, right? Doing something for the community, right? I'm looking at that so at least I can have the time to spend my wife, right? Looking at things, right? Doing things that we enjoy, right? Having more colors in our life.
Oh, that's a good motto. And we do have a colorful living workshops.
Oh yeah. If you go to the colorful living series workshops, I stand for a lot of things, right? A lot of my level of happiness, right, wealth and health, right? Yeah, a lot of them came from the colorful living workshop series. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, what would you say to someone who might be curious about the Advanced Living series and the other colorful living workshops and the trainings that we offer at Advanced?
Yeah,
you know us well enough for many years.
I related back into how I was enrolled with this, right? You know who you are, right? He was having a very, very tough time because I was a person who thinks in the head, right? Yeah, and like I said, right, this workshop may not be meant for everybody, right? It's because that, you know, of how our minds and our upbringing is being constructed, right? But at some point of life, right, if you want to give an opportunity not only for yourself, right, but the people that brings colors to your life, right, and if you want to create a different result, right, take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah. After all, what's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's only a workshop. It's only
just a workshop.
It's only a training.
It's just a training, right? Take a leap of faith.
Because colors are important.
Colors are important, and that reflects, right, our ways of being, right? How people would experience us when people speak to us, or when people don't even speak to me, right? They felt that this guy is, you know, something odd about him. You know, what about, you know, said you tend to attract. Yeah.
So there is an impact. There's a shift in your relationships with people.
Exactly.
And if we dare to imagine it, maybe there's a shift in what we're putting out.
Exactly. Correct. Making a difference, right? I think Malaysia, we need majority of Malaysians, right? We need to play a role, right? Contributing and making a difference, right, to the community. I'm just doing my a small part that I can. Yeah. Hopefully my children can do something bigger, right? But again, it's up to them. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not the size of what we can do, but the fact that we actually do something.
Correct.
So thank you, Wesley.
No, thank you.
For being here and for sharing so honestly.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So maybe last words to the audience, Wesley.
Just like I said, right, take a leap of faith, right? If this means a lot, look at the areas that you want to focus on, making a difference, right? On the areas that you want to focus on, right? Sometimes, many times, right? There's no mathematical calculation for it, right? You just need to take a leap of faith, right?
So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, take a leap of faith from Wesley. So Wesley and I, we bid you good night and look forward to seeing you again at Heart Talk every Monday, 10 p.m. from Kuala Lumpur.
Good night.
Night.
So
Bye.
shout out from Janice, Ake, and T. Say hi to you.
Hey,
Thank you.
thanks for tuning in.
Bye.